Katie, thank you so much for joining me today on the podcast.
You're welcome. It's a pleasure to be here. Welcome to Dubai.
Thank you. Thank you. So let's dive into a little bit about you, the things that people don't get to see behind the scenes. That is Katie.
Honestly, I'm a very chilled person. Like, I feel like people have been watching me, following my life, especially over the last 2 to 3 years. And I know I'm guilty of this. We're all guilty of this. If you look at my Instagram, it looks very picturesque. You know, I'm traveling a lot. Obviously, my old job and quite a lot of travel. So I think, when you look at my Instagram, it looks like I'm living this high life. And don't get me wrong, I've been so blessed. I had an amazing job, so many amazing opportunities, and travel has been my life for the past 10 years. But I think what people don't know is I'm such a little like homebody. I love to chill. Like, when I would go to different countries, and if I didn't have anything on, I'd literally just stay in my hotel and like I love chilling. So like, now that I live here, I don't leave my apartment that much, obviously for work things. I mean, I go to the gym, I do all that sort of stuff, but like, I am a very chill person. Like, the smallest things I enjoy the most, like my mental health, like peace, tranquility, doing things, I guess, that really like benefit me in that way. Cause I've had struggles like we all have. I know I'm not the only one. So yeah, I'm just a chill girl.
What gets you out of the house?
Friends. Like I said, the gym. But I think as well, where I'm at right now, I'm appreciating those things more, because I think for 10 years of my life, when I was in the yachting industry, my life depended on my job. Every single area of my life depended on my job. And now I have my own space. Like, even, you know, I was based out of Tulum for years, in Mexico, but I was only there for like a couple months at a time, or a couple weeks at a time. Then I was always on the go.
Yep.
So for the first time in 10 years, I'm literally at a point where I don't have to answer to anybody. I'm my own boss, and I get to do what I want. I get to work the hours I want. So I think I'm just really catching up for being on the go for 10 years. Literally, my like nervous system has been in fight or flight for literally 10 years. So I think now I'm just trying to get on top of all the things I missed out on.
What was the biggest thing that you took away from the yachting industry?
The fact that I'm not insane. I mean, some people probably will tell you that I am. Honestly, work ethic, understanding other people's behaviors, learning control about yourself. And I think knowing a lot of things that happen in the yachting industry is not normal, and you shouldn't have to put up with some of the shit I think I put up with. But like, I will never change it for the world. Like, it has literally given me everything. It's literally the reason why I'm here today, you know? Like, I feel like I got to the top of the industry. I was a chief stew for years, and then I did a TV show on top of that. So I was like, I don't know how much further I can go with this job. But yeah, I think work ethic is something I'm really proud of. Like, I know I work hard. It's been ingrained in me. My parents are really hard workers, but I would say that, and just understanding people's behaviors and trying to be mindful of that, which is not always easy, especially in a high stress environment.
No, and dealing with different types of people in small spaces like that, most definitely.
It's challenging. And I think us yachties, and you know what, anyone in an industry like that, where it is, you know, we're working long hours, we're exhausted, we're stuck in this confined space, like your whole life goes on hold. You barely have time to speak to your family, your friends. You're missing out on birthdays, weddings, funerals, babies. You're missing out on really big things. So there's a lot of guilt, I think, that comes with that. And then
imagine.
Yeah. And so I think the one thing I always used to try do is put myself in the other person's shoes, even though maybe I'm not agreeing with how they're acting. There's always a reason people act out a certain way. You know, I'm not perfect. I've had my fair share of fuck ups and maybe acting not as nice or whatever. But I think just trying to be empathetic and also knowing you can't control anybody else but yourself.
100%. When you say that people act out, give me an example.
I think people just like snapping emotions run high. And I think you guys, well, everybody's seen it. Yachties do tend to drink a lot. And I find it's like, because we've been confined in these small areas, the minute we get a little bit of freedom, like I think anyone else looking in is like, these people are tired. Why aren't they sleeping? Like, why aren't you going to the spa? Like, why aren't you doing something wholesome? But it's like, it's a release. We're caged animals. And although I don't condole it, I'm guilty of it. I love a good time. I love a drink when it's, you know, you've been on back-to-back trips or months on end, like you want to go let some steam off. So I feel like, you know, we've all seen it with the show and stuff, like people act out, you know, I think little things that are brewing on board become amplified because then people have the courage to call somebody out on their bullshit or just kind of losing the plot. But I think it's not necessarily the other person. It's just the stress that each individual's under. And maybe during those times where we've been on hectic long trips, something's happened at home. Like that is the hardest thing to deal with when things happen and you're in this environment where you have to smile and be on 24/7.
Yeah.
It's not normal for any human being. So yeah.
What would be one thing that people don't know about you or is assumed about you?
That I'm weak.
Oh,
A
interesting.
lot of people assume I'm weak and I'm a pushover, and I'm not a weak person. I'm not a pushover. I will not put up with bullshit. I think one thing I've really learned, especially over the last 2 to 3 years, is a lot of people take my kindness as weakness. I'm a very kind person. I'm a very generous person. I'm a very understanding person. I always give people the benefit of the doubt. I believe in second chances. Not always, depending on sometimes depending on the scenario.
Yeah.
But a lot of people think I'm weak when really I'm just kind, and I'm an empath. So I really understand why people have done a lot of things, or I at least try to. And yeah, people really take that as being weak. And I'm not. Like, I can be a very savage person. I have a very strong cutoff game, but it takes a lot for me to get there with people. So if I've done that to anyone, you best believe there is a solid reason why that's happened.
What do you define as weak? Given that we all probably have different definitions, I'm curious.
I think probably giving people multiple chances, maybe when they didn't deserve them. But I would say that's what people on the outside would consider weak. I also consider that weak. And I think for me, I'm the kind of person, I need to know whatever situation, whether it's a friend, a family member, a partner, a business partner, that I've given my all to that situation for me to walk away comfortably and be like, wow, I tried, or I did this. When I think a lot of people can see that as weak. And maybe sometimes it is because, you know, we all have, I guess, like habits from when we're younger, or like traumas and stuff like that we bring into our life. And I'm learning a lot more about myself in that. And yeah, I guess just maybe giving people too many chances.
I think we're all guilty of that at some point.
Yeah.
I'm similar.
Yeah.
I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. Sometimes I believe people's words over their actions more.
Oh, you're preaching to the choir.
Yeah. And it's even though you probably have it as well, that inner gut knowing that what you're being told, or what you're being what you're being told is incorrect.
Yeah.
Choosing to believe it, to give the benefit of the doubt, and that ultimately puts us in the position, but it's our lesson to learn.
Exactly. And like sometimes as well, we have to learn these lessons.
100%.
Even though it's like, you know, when you see a friend going through maybe like a toxic relationship with somebody, or they're dating somebody and this person has the same pattern, like, you know, from the outside, but sometimes you just have to let them learn.
Yeah.
Which is obviously a hard thing.
It is. Like, you can try and guide them.
Yeah.
But it's I could tell you, but are you in the place where you're able to receive it?
Yeah.
And if you're not, then you won't hear it how it's meant to come across.
Exactly.
It'll always come across a
As
different way.
And an attack normally. I think the hardest thing is trying to have like the brain and the gut align, because like you said, my intuition's very strong. And I have learned definitely in more recent years to always trust my gut.
Yeah.
But sometimes it is hard because your mind's like, oh, but what if this? What if and it's self-doubt, or it's just trying to understand better. Or you don't have all the I don't know. It could be multiple things. So
yeah, it's like a mixture of fear, self-doubt. Is the intuition that you're reading that, or is it anxiety? Like the more disconnected we are from ourselves, the more chaotic it seems.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yachting seems like a very uncomfortable industry because you're constantly moving, high stress. What made you want to dive into it?
It was crazy. So I actually just graduated university. I think I've told this story multiple times, but I graduated university and it was something in my gut. I was in New Zealand. I always wanted to travel. And I remember before I went to university, when I was finishing school, my mum said she knew I wanted to travel. And she goes, why don't you go do a gap year? And I remember saying to her, I said, Mum, if I leave now, I'll never come back. Or like, I won't come back and do my studies. And it was like, that was really important to my family and to me to go to university. I was literally, I think, the first person in my family to go to university. So I really wanted that and that self-pride.
Yeah.
So I did it. And then I think once that finished, it was like everything came crashing down. It was like, now what? And you spend all this money going to university and it's like, then you try to get a job, but you have to do an internship. And it's like, well, none of these kids have money. Like we've just spent thousands and tens of thousands of dollars getting this goddamn degree. And now we have to go intern. And like, I'm an adult now, I'm 21 and not everyone, my parents were fortunate enough to help me along the way, but not everybody's in that situation. 100%. So it's so fucking unfair that I have to go get an internship now or like work for nothing. So I was struggling like what I wanted to do with my career, and I knew I always wanted to travel, and one of my best guy friends was in yachting and he was like, I think you should do this. And one of my best girlfriends as well at the time was like, I just feel like it really suits you, like this little lifestyle, like you're such an outgoing person, you're good with people, go travel, go make some money, like why not do it for a year or so, So here we are 10 and a half years later. Still haven't gone home. Sorry, Mum. I think just there's so much appealing to it, You're traveling the world on a multi-million-dollar boat. They're all beautiful. And it's a lifestyle I can never explain in detail unless you've done it really.
Yeah. Like outside looking in, it's probably like, oh, it looks really hard, uncomfortable. You're constantly moving. But probably being in it as well, it's probably all those things, but then there's the benefits of it too.
There's a lot of rewards in yachting, but there's also a lot of sacrifices.
100%.
I sacrifice, I think, every other element of my life, like I said, my friends, my family. And that's something I really struggle with now. Being away for 10 plus years, I have a lot of guilt, like my family, we're going through a lot at the moment. And, every time I go home, I do my best. And obviously I support from afar. But it is something I think you never really deal with properly. Unless you're a horrible person, obviously, you do sacrifice everything. But then on the flip side, I wouldn't be where I am today without being a little bit selfish. So I think it's a hard balance or a hard thing to learn, to find the right balance, what's being selfish and what's, I guess I feel like I turn my back on a lot of people, but I haven't. I've always been there. It's just you're there in a different way. You're not there in a physical form. But then with yachting, the hard part is you're working so much. You don't actually have the time when shit is hitting the fans with friends and family to find that mental capacity to really support them when you're physically, emotionally exhausted. It's this constant yo-yo. But like we said, there's pros and cons to anything. I absolutely love the industry. It is the best thing I ever did. You learn so much about yourself. And I think any job in the world, there's always some bullshit that comes with it, right?
Of course, right. And I'm a firm believer that everything in life has trade-offs.
Yeah.
You have to decide whether the trade-off is worth it or not.
Exactly.
I traded Australia for America.
Exactly.
And like you, that guilt and everything that comes with it. but I would never ever give it back.
Exactly.
Like,
I'm the same.
Yeah. There's something that you gain while I wasn't traveling, was in a completely different country for my 20s. It was an experience that you can't get anywhere else.
I've said this the other day, I think on my Instagram, like being here in Dubai during Ramadan, this is my first time being in a country that celebrates that, and just you learn so much about religion and culture and just like life. I feel like it gives you life skills, and I think it makes you a better person when you travel to all these different countries and you learn things that are so out of your ordinary because that's how you were brought up. There's nothing wrong with how anyone was brought up.
No.
But it's just, and it's also having an appreciation and respect for other people. Like, I think that's why I'm so understanding, because I've seen a lot of different cultures and lifestyles and stuff like that, which I never would have got if I didn't do what I've done for the past 10 years. So yeah, I think it makes you really rich as a person.
I agree. What was your favorite country to travel to?
I feel like I've had so many amazing experiences in so many different places. Like Mexico, I don't know what it is about Mexico. It's always been like a home to me. When I got there, I just loved it. Like, I can't explain. I mean, maybe you know, and people that have traveled will understand when you go somewhere, you're just like, there's something about this place that just feels good in my soul. Like, was I in a past life here? Like, am I Mexican cowboy in my past life? Like, Mexico is very special to me. Croatia is very special to me because my family, my heritage is from there. So the first time I ever went there, that was a really beautiful experience for me. I honestly don't think I can pinpoint one country. Like, it's so hard. Guatemala was a really amazing time. I really just think Guatemala was probably my life-changing country.
Interesting. What about it?
So I went and did my yoga teachers training there.
Oh, that would have been phenomenal.
Yeah, and I did it in Lake Atalan and where we were. So there's a live volcano there. So we were staying up on this beautiful mountain, and every morning would meditate for like an hour, which was a really incredible thing, but very hard thing to do. And we were on this beautiful lake, and there's this like active volcano, so you could just see it just like puffing away. And Lake Atalan, people that have been there probably know it's quite a hippie, has that hippie spiritual thing to it, but it was just really beautiful. Like, it's just all these small little villages around this lake, and everyone's just there with like love and peace, and no one gives a fuck what everyone's doing. It's just respect.
Oh my God, yeah.
So that was a really life-changing, pivotal moment in my life.
During your travels, or even at your time on the yachts, did it ever bring out a part of you that you didn't know existed?
I think stamina, and it's crazy what your body and mind can do when you have no other choice. So it's almost like adrenaline. It's not actually healthy to operate like that all the time. But when you are in fight or flight, you don't know what you're actually capable of. So I always say to people, you know, when we're going through hard times or something terrible has happened in somebody's life and your world is crashing down in front of you, you are so much stronger than you believe.
Yeah.
And I know that because I have been in situations, like I said, we have to put on a front, and I'm working 18-hour days for months on end, no days off. I've got some fucking shit going on with my family, and it's like, you know, I'd run into my cabin, like close myself in the bathroom, like have a full meltdown, like in tears, and then just get up and go, and you just go. And you just put on this front, which obviously isn't healthy, but I think it just proved to me how much stronger I am. So when a lot of people have called me weak, or you don't have a backbone, or you're this, and I'm like, fucking hell, I'd love to see you do what I've done for the past 10 years and see how you turn out. So it definitely gives you stamina. And like I said, it teaches you to detach in a way, which isn't necessarily healthy, but I think it finds you ways to detach from things that don't serve you and you don't have control, where you just like, you got to let go. And I think I can go with the flow a lot more than other people can, because I've been in situations where there is nothing you can do about it. It is what it is.
Yep.
What's the point in like, yeah, it's upsetting, it's frustrating, it's this, we were told this, but now we're doing this. That's just life. So I think it just gives you resilience as well, to just be like,
you gotta adapt.
It is what it is. Yeah, being so adaptable, and being adaptable in a way where it's just like, you don't give a fuck. Like, and I mean that in a sincere way. You're just not letting it stress you out as much as maybe it could.
Did you have to learn to let go of control a lot?
Control is a big one. And I think, like I said, the one thing I've learned a lot from yachting, and this even in my own personal life, and I think I got it from yachting, was you cannot control anybody else but yourself. You can do your best, but at the end of the day, how you want to react and how that person wants to react, that's on them. And if they don't like it, then like there's nothing you can do. You can only control yourself. So only focus on that. And if someone's done you wrong, let it be.
Yeah, it's like, okay.
Because it's shit. And in your mind, you're probably trying to find the answers. Why did they do that? How could they do this to me? I've been nothing but kind in this. That's great, but that's not the reality right now. So you just have to, control yourself and how you want to deal with that situation.
I changed my mindset, and it was the weirdest thing when I actually learned how to do it, was appreciate the moment that I'm having right now, simultaneously let it go at exactly the same time.
Yeah.
So I'm grateful for the moment that we're having right now. I might not get this again, but I'm going to let it go all at the same time.
Yeah.
Just like if I have a negative experience with somebody, it's the same thing. I have to learn to let it go at exactly the same moment, because if I don't and I harbor it and I'm like, oh, they betrayed me or whatever else, then I didn't learn the lesson. Like there was a lesson in there for me and I didn't learn it.
Yeah. I think that's the hardest thing as well. Like I know we all see this all online, like live in the present, live in the present. That's never going to be the full reality. But I think if you have a moment, maybe once a week, once a month, once a goddamn year, I don't know. But if you have that, then good, you know, like I feel like we have so much pressure on ourselves to live this certain way, and it's just not realistic. Like I think we take all these little things, and as long as you have gratitude and you have moments where you are just in the moment and then you just let it go, but it is a lot harder.
Oh, 100%. Like I'm not even going to pretend like I'm Gandhi and it was like easy. The hardest thing to do.
Yeah.
And sometimes I don't get it right.
Yeah.
And it might be like in hindsight that I'm sitting there and be like, okay, like let this go, work out how we let it go.
Yeah.
Find the lesson, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Like maybe it was that person betrayed me because I didn't have good boundaries.
But that's it as well. And that's something I've really learned the last, I would say, for sure, is like not living in the future. Like you said, not trying to put too much pressure on the future, not putting too much pressure on the past, but always trying to find a lesson in whatever, the good, the bad. Like, why is this happening? Why is all these good things happening? You know? Is it because I put those boundaries in with this, and this? Or is it because I removed myself from that environment? And then the same thing when something isn't going right. Was I not strong enough? Should I have walked away at that point? You know, like, so I think there's always something to learn no matter how ugly or how beautiful it is.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. You've been in Dubai for a little while now. What does the future look like for you?
It's a very good question. I'm living in the present. No, honestly, it was a really random thing that I ended up here. This was never on my bingo card. This time last year, I actually thought I was moving to Bali. So couldn't get more polar opposite.
I was going to say way too extreme.
And this time last year, I was still on boats. So
oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, I only left August last year. So
really new.
So the thing is, I was on what we call rotation. So I was working 2 months on, 2 months off. So I did have a lot of free time, but in that free time, I was always on the go. So that's when I say I've been in fight or flight for 10 years because it just never ended. I was on a plane home, on a plane back to the boat, working for 2 months, and on a plane to go somewhere else and go somewhere else and go somewhere else. And then filming other shows and doing, you know, this sort of stuff on the outside. I was kind of living a double life for a good few years there. But Dubai, honestly, this is the land of opportunities. And I know everybody says that, but I genuinely believe with my heart. And for some reason, I was obviously meant to end up here. And it's taken a while, I think, to adapt to my new norm. But it's just the people here, the networking here. I don't know how long I'm going to be here. I'm not really focused on that right now. I'm just focused on making the most of why I'm here and how I ended up here.
How did you end up here?
So this is a good question because I swear, I mean, a lot of people assume if you were a female in Dubai, you were doing some kind of work. And I have had the messages, the DMs that I am number one, I have a sugar daddy. Number two, I'm a prostitute of some kind. I'm getting things paid for. And I just want to put out there, if you are a girl and you're doing that, that is your own goddamn business. That is your own prerogative. You do what you want. This world is hard. We got to do what we've got to do to survive. I would love to have somebody paying my rent. I would love a sugar daddy, okay? But like, I've worked my ass off for 10 years. I pay my own goddamn rent. I am here on my own. And so I just want to put those rumors to rest. And I also want to address that being a female in Dubai doesn't mean you're any of those things. There are a lot of hardworking, hustling girls here, like girls with multi-million-dollar businesses, 100%. Girls starting out. Like the female, and I think people as well, they're like, oh, what's it like being a female in Dubai? It is goddamn-tastic.
I agree.
It's amazing. I've never been treated better than any other country than I have here.
I agree.
So I'm just going to put that to rest. And the reason I'm here, so I would say because I'm smart. Because with yachting, right, for 10 years, I've earned tax-free money. This is all legitimate. I've been offshore for 10 years.
That's phenomenal.
And I'm not a resident of New Zealand because I do not live there. I do not pay tax there. I do not gain any benefits as if I did. I don't, because I haven't lived in the country for longer than, well, you have to be in the country 180 days to be considered a tax resident, right?
Yeah. Do you have to give up tax residency?
Like I gave up residence. I'm considered a non-resident of. I'm a citizen.
Yeah,
but I am a non-resident.
I'm the same of Australia.
Yeah, which is all fair. When I go home, I pay everything full price. I'm not comped, not this, whatever.
It's like a no man's land of any country.
I have been in no man's land for 10 years. So the fact that I'm here in Dubai for the first time in 10 years, I'm actually somewhere. I'm a resident of the UAE, and it feels good. So because I was earning tax-free money for so long and I knew I wanted to get out of yachting, like I was done. And, I'm fortunate enough because of Bravo, thank you, Bravo, Below Deck, Winter House, and just I gained, I guess, like an image, an online presence. So I had a lot of other opportunities. And the thing is, because I'm earning all my money I was making on the yachts was going into my offshore bank accounts, all legitimate, everybody. And then I was starting to think, okay, well, I need to think all the money I'm earning from brand deals and just the outside money needs to go into somewhere, but it has to be taxed technically, right? So when you come to the UAE, you can open up a company. So I open up an LLC. So all my money gets funneled through my business and I'm my own employee, right? This is all legal, guys. So really I was just being smart. So coming to the UAE, I was trying to there is corporate tax here, but it's like 9%.
Yeah, it's nothing.
Compared to other countries, it's like 49% or something. And obviously it depends on your earnings. So that was the whole reason I came here in the first place. I came here to open up a company. And with that, you automatically get residency. So when I was opening up my company, this time last year, I think, no, April, May, I came here and I was on my rotation. I was like, well, I've got 2 months. Why don't I spend it in Dubai, see if I like it, and I'll do all my paperwork and get everything in order. And I ended up coming here and falling in love, and not with somebody. Let's be very clear about that.
Yeah.
With the city, and just opportunities. People started messaging me, DMing me, inviting me to events, networking. And things just started aligning so well. And then, so that's practically the reason I'm here. So then I went back to the boat, absolutely could not do it. And then here I am. So I actually did it for a financial reason, no other reason.
Well, it's the smartest reason, right?
Thank you. But I'd still take a sugar daddy. No, I'm kidding.
Like if you can, to me, if you find the loopholes that work for you when it comes to money and taxes, like run it all the way.
And that's it. And I think it's really frustrating when people are accusing me of all these other things. And I'm like, number one, I'm just trying to be smart for me and my future and also for my family. Like, you know, like what I do, I give back to my family. This isn't just for me. So I think as well, when I've sacrificed the last 10 years of my life, it's gotten me to a position that I can be in to support my family and support myself and support what I want to do with the future. So honestly, you can keep the accusations coming. I just don't care.
What company did you start?
I can't talk about it.
Oh, shit.
Well, no. So my company is me. It's just it's my brand, but I've got a lot of little things in the pipeline.
Okay, amazing.
And I know it's annoying, and I've been saying this, I think, for about 5 months now. But I think as well, and I'm not going to lie, I do have a little bit of imposter syndrome right now because it's so new to me. You know, like yachting was something I know. I know how to run a yacht like the back of my hand. I know how to serve guests. I know how to deal with the top 1%. I know how to make a bomb cocktail. Like I can graft. You can put me on 3 months straight, 18-hour days. I'm probably going to have a mental breakdown, but I can do it.
Yeah.
So I think when you take something you've known for so long and now I'm trying something completely different. I've never started a business before. I have highs when I'm like feeling super confident about it. I'm like, yeah, epic. And then I have times where I'm like, I can't even work on it. Like I just like can't even look at my laptop because I'm like, you know, that imposter syndrome like gets into my head. I don't feel good enough. Like, are people going to like this? Like, are people going to judge me? I mean, everyone's going to judge you. I know that. But this is the thought patterns that come with, I think, doing something so outside your comfort zone. But then again, like we said, if it fails, like I would have learned something. It's going to be a hard pill to swallow. Touch wood. That's not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
Doesn't fail.
But you know, it's just it's a lot, and it's your name on the line, you know. So yeah, there's a lot of emotions with that.
Do you judge yourself?
Not always, but I am human, so yes. Like I said, I go through ups and downs like all of us, and sometimes I feel good enough to be doing these things and sometimes I don't. And I feel like that's something I'm going to really struggle with until I really get my grips on what I'm doing. So yeah, I do.
During your startup process, what's been the hardest part for you?
I think the hardest part is knowing I'm smart enough to do this. Knowing I have enough knowledge to know what I'm doing. And don't get me wrong, I do have the outside help. In terms of advice and stuff like that. But sometimes as well, I haven't always had good advice in terms of what I'm trying to do and what I'm trying to achieve. Right now, I've had some people being like, absolutely amazing. This is you to a T. Like this could not be more on par for you and your brand and you as a person and what people know you for. And then I've had other people being like, what? So like, I think I know deep down this is something I've always wanted to do. So I just have to keep centering myself back to that and knowing when the opportunity sort of presented itself and when things started happening, it was for a reason. And it's something I do believe in manifestation. It's something I have manifested honestly for the past 2 years.
I love that.
So I think when it kind of happens, you kind of have a wait,
it's like a freak out moment.
Yeah. And like I'm still having those now. So I think I'm just trying to be less hard on myself about that and just be more kind of be like, oh, this is something I've never done. So yeah, there are going to be things that I'm going to be like, oh shit, like anything. Oh, should have done that better. And that's just life.
Yeah, right. Every success comes with probably multiple failures before it. Doesn't mean that the thing that we're working on has to be a failure, but the only person who needs to see the vision is ourselves.
Yeah. And I think the benefit of working in yachting for so long, you've worked for the top 1%, you know, you've worked for all these millionaires, billionaires. And the one thing they all have in common is they failed more than once. They've made a lot of money. They've been broke. And I'm not saying that's what happens to all of us, but it kind of gives you confidence to know like they were in this position at one point. Every successful business woman, businessman, now you can meet them and you're like, oh, they have so much confidence in what they're doing, but they've all had to start somewhere, you know? And I think that's one thing about being in Dubai is there's so many successful people that you are bumping shoulders with, which is so beneficial. But then sometimes I'm like, well, they're so confident in knowing what they're talking about. And sometimes I don't have that confidence in myself.
you can see their confidence, which means it is in you.
Yeah, exactly. So I think it's always there. I think it's just something, I'm doing something out of my norm and something that's been yachting was my norm for 10 years. That was my life. I'm so confident in that.
Yeah.
And now I've changed my whole career. I've changed the country I'm living in. Like I'm starting a business. So yeah, literally within the way I left yachting, it was literally just like boom, done like that, and that was it.
Yeah, it's like what, 6 months?
Yeah, August, start of August last year. And then I went and partied in Ibiza for 2 weeks. That didn't help.
Would have been a great time though.
It was a good little blow up.
Like if anything, you just ended a 10-year career. You deserve a party.
At the time, I didn't know I fully ended it. Like I ended it, and then I went, and then I was kind of reality kicked in, and I was like, I need to go find an apartment. I need to go to Dubai and sort my life out. So here we are.
I truly believe that blowing off steam every now and then is a great thing.
Always. I believe in balance, and I feel like I didn't have a balanced life for so long, and I feel like I have that now. Like, don't get me wrong, I love a good night out. I love a good party. I love to travel and go drink a margarita here and do a tequila shot there. Like that will always be in me, but I think, like it's finding the balance, right, with anything.
If I was wanting to get into yachting, where would I start?
You would talk to me. You'd have to get your basic certificates, and then honestly going to a yachting hub. So Fort Lauderdale, Antibes in the south of France, Palma and Mallorca in Spain. So any big yachting hubs, you need to be in those areas to get into yachting.
Why is that important?
Because when you don't have experience, you need to get things like day work. So a lot of yachts that will come in and say we're in between trips, or, we're having like, especially like for the like Monaco Grand Prix and Cannes Film Festival, all yachts need extra help to come on because all the boats are having such big parties. So we need extra staff just to help like serve drinks, clean up, all that sort of stuff. So there's lots of opportunities where all these yachts are to come and help turn the boat around for a day. If like a boat's just dropped off charter and they're picking up guests the next day, they need as many hands on deck to help wash the boat, turn over the guest cabins, get all the new provisions on board. It's never ending.
It sounds slightly chaotic.
Absolutely chaotic.
But it also on one hand chaotic, but on the other hand, it sounds extremely fun.
It is honestly so much fun. So much fun. I really miss being a part of a crew. That's something I've really struggled with when you've been around people constantly. And then you find yourself in a new place on your own. Like I live with one of my good friends, Natalia, who also is a yachty. So it's been kind of nice. We have each other as support. But there's just like the memories I've had, and it's like the bonds you create with these people because of the environment you're in is just like unexplainable. So yeah, there's a lot of beauty in it.
If I can't get to one of those main hubs, then what?
So you need to sign up online to all the crew agencies, and I would recommend wherever you are, whatever town, city, country, try and get day work in a local marina. If not, any transferable skills. So, like waitressing, hosting, being a maitre d', being a bartender, doing your cocktail courses, like stuff like that, being a housekeeper in Airbnbs, luxury resorts, hotels, whatever will help. Any transferable skills is a benefit. Yeah.
It's like a glimpse into seeing how the other half lives.
It really is. And I say Below Deck isn't a good portray of the yachting industry. It's an insight. It's a lot more high end, a lot more structured, a lot more put together, and a lot less messy guests. And it is a very, the things that I've seen in yachting is just crazy. And I think my reality is a little warped. So like my shock factor now, things will happen. I'm just like, oh, and other people are like, what? That's fucked up. And you're like, oh, because you've just been exposed to a lot of wild things.
It's like two extremes, right? You'd be your nervous system and yourself as to the wealth that you are exposed to, the type of things that you would see. It would be able to, like, nothing would surprise you now.
It really doesn't. which sounds bad, but
I think it sounds great. Like,
well,
'cause
this
there's
is why
nothing
I
that
think
can-
the transition to living in Dubai, like people are like, what? Why are you in Dubai? And I'm like, I don't understand what's such a big deal and why I'm getting all these accusations for the work I'm doing here that I'm not doing here actually.
Yeah.
I've worked for the top 1% for 10 years. No one accused me of looking for a sugar daddy then, looking for a rich husband. I could have done all of that
Yeah.
working for these billionaires.
You were literally in the circle.
I was in their life, like face to face.
Yeah.
So I think the transition to move to a place like Dubai, like it was seamless because like it's nice that you have a Lamborghini, Han. It's nice you have a Ferrari, but like I don't care, you know. Like whereas a lot of people may be shocked by that stuff, so which is fair. Like it's, but like I don't. That doesn't like feed my soul.
No, I agree. How do you get your soul fed here?
I think now I really have time to look after myself. So I've really prioritized everything I didn't get to prioritize for 10 years. And that's me. That's my mental health. That's my physical health. You know, I go to yoga every day. I will try to, like, I'm not perfect, okay? I'm not some health guru or anything like that, but just doing things and just like actually giving myself the space to relax and not be on my feet 24/7. Because I think once you go from working 18-hour days to working on your own and doing your own hours, and I have a lot more freedom, I had like a mental struggle with that because I was so used to being go, go, go that if I wasn't, I was like, I'm not doing enough. I'm not doing something right. When really I'm doing enough.
Yeah.
I just get to do it and do a lot of nice other things with it.
Yeah, it's like now you get to do what you want, build what you want.
Exactly.
While simultaneously actually having a life
yeah,
where you can build relationships and community and everything else.
I'm giving a lot more back to my friends and my family now because I have the capacity and I do feel like I want to make up for lost time in a way. So that's something that I'm prioritizing now.
How do you do that now?
Just, you know, making sure I'm touching in with like my friends every week, my family every week. Before I didn't really get to do that. You know, me and my brother have come a lot closer. We spent so much time at home together this summer and we've become a lot closer, which is amazing. Like I love him with all my heart. So getting to prioritize that relationship in my life and my friends that, you know, a lot of my friends also live overseas. So I think just making time and just showing people like I'm still here. Maybe we don't have to speak every day, but, you know, sending a text. And like when people pop into my mind now, I actually message them. I'm like, hey, you just popped into my mind. Just want to let you know I'm thinking about you. No pressure to respond. No, how are you? Just like, hey, I'm still here. Yeah. Even though you're over there and I'm over here, like I'm still here. So I've really tried to put more focus onto that.
I like that a lot, actually. If you could give advice to your 18-year-old self, what would you say?
You're in for a wild ride, honey. No, that you are worthy and you are deserving of everything you have. And all your failures and hardships have only got you to a way better place than you were before. And when your world was crumbling down, it's only made you the person you are today.
I love it. Thank you so much for joining me today on the podcast. It's been an absolute pleasure. And I hope you have a fantastic time in Dubai.
Enjoy the rest of Dubai.
I will. Thank you so much.
Thank you.